it's more of the artistry with
Interesting.
with
Yeah,
that.
right.
And just like I don't want to hire someone to quilt my quilts, I want to be able to do that myself,
Yeah,
because I've always done the whole process. And to me, that's where the satisfaction is, because when you quilt something, it becomes alive. And
yeah.
and growing up, I remember laying under the quilt frames, and as you saw things getting quilted, it's like you could see the dimension from the underside. And to me, that's where the beauty of it, and that's where the fun of it is.
I
It's
like
just
that. I like that image. That's really interesting. Wow.
doing
Okay.
the
So
quilting.
you're looking for a long arm, but not computerized. That's really
Uh-huh.
interesting. I haven't figured out whether we want computerized or not. I see the pros and cons on each of it,
Uh-huh.
uh, but yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
And
So
and the local quilt shop, now, okay, so it would be about 12,000, and then if I got
mhm.
it computerized, it would be like $9,000 more than that.
Yeah.
However, I was talking to my kids, and they were saying that they might have fun with it, and what they
Right.
do is they'll have a program where it's like 60 months interest-free
Yeah.
financing, and I thought
Right.
I
Right. I
could
know.
do that
Right.
as
I know.
as as an investment,
It's very, it's
and just
very, yes, it's not, it's very tempting, isn't it?
And so it's like I haven't ruled out computerized, because if I did that, then I feel like my husband would step in, or my other children would step in,
Right.
and they'd be interested, and they'd want to do that too.
Well, I mean, that's the way I
So,
feel about it too. So right now I'm feeling like, well, if I got a computerized one, then we could have a
uh-huh,
local artist or my kid, or, it opens up the possibility of people designing interesting things that could be quilted. So that's
uh-huh,
the part that sort of that trend that it seems like it makes a bridge between the quilting world and then those that have an artistic flair or want to sort of play and do it as the computerized side. But I don't know.
uh-huh.
We're still thinking about it.
Okay.
But it's
Well,
awfully
but my aunt said, whatever you do, go and become familiar with the mechanics of things. And so that's where, if you're doing local, that you can go and you can play, and you keep going back and asking questions. And so
yeah, it's
having the support, it makes
yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know if I should
probably what
mention.
we should do this
I mean,
summer is try to, it's hard. We don't have a lot. I'm in New Orleans and strangely we don't have a lot of long arming
uh-huh.
places here. So, but I think that's a great idea is to sort of start to play. It's a big enough investment. I mean, you look, it took us like 3 years to buy a car and 4 years to buy a house. So, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
we move slow anyway. So I just figure that like, it's, maybe you're right. Just go start to experience it and see what it's like. So you can get a sense of what you want.
And and that was the thing, is my husband, he keeps saying, "Oh, let me go get you this," and it's like, no, this is as much as a car.
Right. It is. It's
you
as
know.
much as the
And
car, sometimes more than the car. Right. Like
yes,
I wouldn't buy a super fancy car, but I'm thinking about a super
uh-huh,
fancy long arm machine. So I don't
yeah,
know.
okay.
You know.
But I'm so good about justifying everything, so here's how I have it justified.
Okay, tell me.
um, okay. If I were to go out and
Yeah,
get a quilt top just cheaply quilted, just
that's
an
true.
all over pattern, it would be about $200.
That's true.
And, you know, and that would be probably about what the monthly payment would be.
That's right. So you
And
could do
so
like
I
one
thought,
month. That's right. Now, do you
right.
think that you'll,
Uh
right. So do you think that you would start, so when people get long arms, they also start small businesses, like doing it for others.
huh.
Do you think you would do that?
Well, actually, no, but the thing is, the justification for getting it was, if I do one for hire once a month, then that would make the payment.
Right.
However, once you start doing that, it takes the joy out of it.
Yeah, I
And,
know,
and
right?
it's just this frustration. And to me, that makes it so it would just ruin what I love
I
about it.
totally agree,
However,
right? Yeah.
I have this nursing home I contract at, and I make about 200 a month. I go and I work 4 hours,
Yeah.
once a month. And I thought to make that payment for what I'm doing, because really I'm ready to quit. It's like, I'd be
Right.
really happy to do that for 5 more years.
Right. Right. To do
to,
that.
to make
To
to
do the
make the
payment.
payment and act.
I like your thinking. I really do. I like your thinking. So if you have like, yeah, I'm going to have to think about this. The other one is like, well, some people rent out their machine to people. Some people,
Yes.
do charity quilting with it. So they feel like that justifies it. But I like that
Uh-huh.
idea. You already
But
doing yeah, we got to think it through.
but
I don't know. I really
my
want
aunt had told me Oh, my aunt had told me that she had gone, and I believe it was with Handy Quilter, how they rented it out, for, like for $10 an hour. And that was how she got to the point of going with that company. And because they were doing all the support and because you became experienced, but she said her daughter had also bought one. It was a different brand, and she was just very frustrated with it and hated it.
Interesting.
And so she was looking for a different one. And that's where being familiar with the kind of machine.
That's really interesting.
Really makes a big difference.
That's super smart. Okay, I'll have to be more patient with trying to figure this all out. The one thing, so what do you quilt on now? Do you quilt on a domestic machine for the quilting part?
Yes, I do. Actually, I have a little Bernina. It was a it's a 40-year-old. I think I found the original thing was saying the original owner bought it in 1973. And awesome. I had got a brother to quilt on, but it seems like it's really temperamental. And I would just get frustrated and have broken thread. But the little Bernina, so it's 40 years old, but it just, it's just beautiful. The stitches are beautiful. The threads never break. I mean, and I have it set up in my living room. And, so it has like a little 7-inch throat plate, but it's just really fun. However, it is tedious just dealing with the bulk of the quilt, but you figure really it's just that first, 2 square feet that are hard to do. Oh, I have to tell you another justification for getting my long arm.
All right, tell me.
What? Okay, I was driving down the highway, and there was a truck that had 3 golden retrievers in it, and I thought, oh, they're so beautiful, and I thought, oh, that would be so fun to raise golden retrievers. And then I thought that then it would cost me $1,600, to buy each, probably to buy them, and if you're wanting to raise them, and then I'd probably be paying $100 a month just for food. And so I came home, I said to my husband, it's like, I've figured, so I might as well just get a long arm. Because I wouldn't be having that craziness in my life.
Yes, this seems very reasonable.
And I wouldn't have to buy the food, and it's like I might as well just do a simpler hobby.
So, I like that a lot. That's quite lovely. That's great. Those are good justifications for the long arm. That's so funny. Well, would you? We're not ending, but will you keep us posted and come back as you sort of investigate and help us think about this? I sent, there were five members of our quilting army went to Paducah, and part of it, we're supposed to scope out the long arm companies. So we're trying to understand the differences between them, but I'm really curious what you find and what you like as you investigation, because I really am in the market for one. I just can't quite figure out. It all seems a little intimidating. One of the other questions I have is, how do you feel about standing up? That's the other part, is I'm not so sure about the whole standing up part. Right now I have a sit down. I have a 2010 that I turn, so that's kind of like a sit down one, and I love it. But it has its limitations too. So I don't know. That's the other part of it, is there's a lot of standing.
Actually, it's funny. I got into machine quilting because I was starting to, it was funny. I was starting to want to do long arm, but I figured I needed to get so I could have the skill set of knowing how to do the designs and things like that. So I started looking for designs, and that's when I got back into pulling back and thinking, okay, I can do this on my domestic machine. But the patterns I want to do are bigger. It's like I want to do feathers, and I want to do bigger swirls. And so, I mean, there are stools that are higher, but watching things, it seems like using a long arm, the quilting would be a whole lot faster than what you're doing with the sit down. And with the sit down, it's a lot more condensed, and what I'm doing are smaller designs just because I have my 7-inch throat plate.
That makes sense.
And even when you get towards the end, it's still, you're restricted in the movement. And so, and I guess I feel like there's this artistry that I want to have more movement.
I love it.
But I also feel like there's stools that it would help.
Oh my God.
But I also have goals of like having 10 quilt tops done, ready to quilt, and and I was thinking like $5,000 saved. And so
Yeah.
that, so I
Yeah.
have my own personal hurdles.
Hey, that's what I'm doing. So right now I'm like, I keep finishing tops and I'm like, okay, well, these will be practice ones. If like we get,
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure when, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I was doing this morning. I'm like, okay, well, instead of just quilting these the way I normally would, I'm just going to save these because then I'll have a whole
Uh-huh.
bunch ready. So yeah, we're totally on the same page. So we should be shopping together. Like,
Yes. And,
yeah.
and one thing else I have done is my blankets are getting old enough, or even the quilts. It's funny, some of the first quilts I've done are starting to wear out and fray, and so then I recover them, and I had tied them to make utilitarian, just blankets for the family.
Yeah.
But then I had gone back, and I was quilting them on the little machine just as a way of practice, but it's also making it more secure. And then I was thinking to stop doing that and save that for when I get the long arm so I could practice. So,
Totally. Well, I think this is awesome. All right. So you have to keep us posted on your progress. I am definitely going to try to find,
okay.
I think that one of our local shops does have a long arm now. We didn't have any long arms in the city for a while that you could go just practice on. And then one of the quilting arm, Edith has one. She's got a very fancy one. So, yeah, so we'll have to sort of play with her too. Well, this is great. I love it. This is so great. Okay. Well, we are definitely, you're going to have to keep me posted on your strategy, your thoughts about the buying. We're trying to have the long arm people on. So if we do, maybe you could help me interview them to sort of talk about like what's the difference between all of these. I do want to understand what the difference is between a say, $5,000 to $10,000 machine and the 10 to 15 and then the $30,000 ones, right? How are these different? And how, are the stitches different? Like what are you paying? Are you paying for, what are you paying for when you get a $30,000 quilting, long arm machine? So, so yeah, so just at the beginning. So yeah, so that's kind of, it's so funny. That's totally what I'm interested in. That's like, anytime I have extra time, I'm like looking online about, more information. So yeah.
But the funny thing is I look on eBay a lot. I had started looking on eBay and because even the second hand, but to me it's like there's this hesitancy because you don't have the tutoring and you don't have the walkthrough and it might be that they're upgrading, but then if you're going to drive even 6 hours or 10 hours to pick this up, even the setup, it's like you don't have that help with it.
No, you don't have that help. Yeah, I would be nervous too, unless I had somebody that I really knew could come help me, that said, oh, well, I have that machine. And also, how would you know if it was like in good shape? It's a big investment. It just feels like it's a big investment. So, I don't know. So, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I love it. Okay. So next step, I want you to send me a little bio about yourself and also some images. You can either do that through messaging or through email. And then we'll post this. If you're cool with it. Are you okay with us posting it online? We've been
That would be fine.
Okay, cool. And then why don't you just, when you have thoughts about this, as you go, just sign up again and we'll chat more because I'll be doing some research too and we'll keep thinking about long arms. It would be really great.
Okay, that would be fun. Oh, I keep thinking if I go to a quilt show that they'd be doing clearance on the.
Right. So where are you located?
So I'm in Amarillo, Texas.
So do you ever go to the quilt festival in Houston?
No, but my daughter lives there now, and she keeps saying, "Mom, you have to come and go to it sometime."
Oh, you
but
totally
actually, that's like
okay. We will meet there. Right. It's in November though, so that's a bit of ways away.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, so I don't know if we can hold out until then. But what's cool about it is they really do have every single one there, and you can just play. You can go from machine to machine, and supposedly they get good deals there too. That they,
But the thing is, is New Orleans would be a lot closer because we're like 600 miles from Houston, even though
you're 600 miles from Houston. Yes, it's true. Well, we're and how far are you from New Orleans?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, so Amarillo's just like the Arctic Circle of Texas.
That's funny. Well, I don't know. We're definitely having a group come there, so I would love for you to be there. Well, we're gonna, and you're with you, especially since your daughter lives there. But it's amazing. The quilt festival is amazing. literally every
Yeah.
single machine